do all the reading, you're ready to come to class because you're like, wow, I'm super prepared. I'm energized. I want to talk about it and really explore more and expound upon any ideas that I came up with while doing the reading. And then you get to class and it's all like, it's like the white people have more say-so over it, or the white
more agency, it seems.
They have more agency to activate, like not wanting to read, expressing that the information is too much or it's too much reading, or that their experience doesn't align with it, so they want to do things that they feel like are them activating themselves in black spaces, which is literally impossible because they'll always be peripheral to black spaces. And then like their idea of activating themselves in the idea or concept of black space is them like becoming like activists or creating like picket signs, as though the only way to be activated in the space is through that, or through the idea or concept of like allyship. But then if somebody speaks up and says like, that's not like, you can think outside of the frameworks of allyship or picketing or rioting or protesting, and thinking about your relationship to blackness and how it may not exist, and what does that look like to not exist inside of that framework, what it looks like to be an observer peripherally to something like that, how your chosen identity of choosing to be white and acting on that whiteness affects you racially as well. But the idea that I can come to class and show work that really just kind of like questions those identities, or the ideas of like trivializing what I have to say to the point where we can't even get shit done, which is literally the whole point of the video, and making it, well, maybe we need a trigger warning, you know, before people watch this, is super frustrating. And then for the professor to like coddle that and cater that, I'm literally the only person in that class who experiences blackness. And then if she overgeneralizes like the black experience, or like says things in a way that's like, what I like to say is like layman terms, or like in an applesauce way, even though the content that she provides is not, like the content is actually like really good. So coming to class, kids not reading it, so they can't even partake in the conversation. And then when they do partake in the conversation, it's like, oh, well, that's too much, or it's aggressive. And I'm just like, what the fuck are y'all even talking about? And so I have a huge frustration with that. One, I don't want to be overgeneralized. Two, I don't want to be excluded. I don't want my agency to be excluded. The class is literally called. It was really weighing on my spirit in a way that I haven't really felt since being at school. Like I haven't felt that type of weight. Yeah. And I was just like getting like real emotional about it, because I didn't feel supported. Like, never mind if someone didn't like the work. I mean, I don't really care about that. Never mind if people have critiques about its technical ability. But the content of the work was pretty straightforward. The content itself. So the argument and trivializing the content, making it so the suggestions are to like reduce the amount of confrontation it has to people who choose to experience whiteness. When that's really the whole point of the video. We can't even talk about what the video was talking about because you're too caught up on the language. The language which was used to prove.
Did you get a chance to express any of this yet, or is this all in hindsight? Like,
I shared all of this.
And how was it received?
Not at all. That's what I'm saying. Like, not at all. Basically, the whole entire conversation lent its...
Everything you're telling me about, like, you're not feeling agency and all those things, you say all that?
Not agency or anything like that. That's an afterthought. But everything about the work itself, I'm just like regurgitating, repeating exactly what I said. But like, it all pretty much got reduced down to, as a white person, they're offended and they feel like there should be a trigger warning and synonymize it to like rape scenes or sexual molestation or like drug use. Then the professor went on to say it's the equivalent of somebody writing the word like nigger somewhere or hearing it repeatedly. And I thought, literally, it's not. Literally, it's fucking not. How arbitrary would it be? Like, that's so arbitrary. Like, it's not even in context. I'm not just saying crack of this, crack of that. It is in context. It's in context of a whole minute and 11-second video.
Yeah.
And the crazy part is, in the first scene, it's not to say that any racial slurs imposed and expressed towards people who experience blackness, it's not to say that those words are even equivalent, honky, cracker, and white trash, but is to invite the idea that words alone do just slur, things that could be considered slurs just do not feel good. They do not make people feel good considering the historical context. So to potentially invite that type of discomfort or thought, but it does not mean that it's synonymized. It does not mean that it is similar to or the same. But some white people literally just don't understand. So it was like a moment to kind of reverse those roles and meditate on the potentiality of those words just not feeling good to someone. And then it goes on and on and on. So it's like, it's already been acknowledged that those words don't feel good. Why do I need to put a trigger warning? My audience is not white people. My audience is people who are critically thinking about the content that I'm sharing.